where you actually write something called an MQL statement. That's a database access language which you can use to construct very complicated sentence selections, where you'll say, I want sentences where there is a verb, then 3 other words, neither of which is an adjective, and then a noun in the plural following that. But as a teacher, you very, very rarely need to do that kind of thing. So there is this more user-friendly interface to doing this. So that's it.
Is this available?
Yes, it is. I'll get back to that. Just check that. The underlying database technology is a system called MDROS, which is an open source database system used for storage and retrieval of analyzed and annotated text. With this, I'll just move quickly through this. It has a query language I just mentioned. It's developed by Ulrik Sandborg Petersen, which is a who works at the Aalborg University. Very nice guy. It's available from mdros.org. Just briefly, good and bad points about this tool. These sentences are taken from a real text, the real Hebrew or Greek portions of the Bible, which means that we're dealing not with a prepared text. If you, as a teacher, want to drill students, there is a risk or a chance that in selecting your exercises, you will be biased one way or another. Say, I will always avoid a certain stem of a verb or something. Here we're dealing with real text, so we'll have a real statistical probability corresponding to the actual frequency with which a particular form occurs in the text. Frequent forms will be presented more frequently. This is both a good thing and a bad thing. It means that you primarily exercise the forms that are more common, but those are also the forms that you're most likely to know as a student. Perhaps you really wanted to exercise the less common ones, so it can also be a drawback. The infrequent forms are presented infrequently, again, either a good or bad. If there are grammatical errors in the text, well, then as a student you will be asked to identify something, and the quote-unquote correct answer is actually wrong. And if a sentence is ambiguous, if you can't determine what form a particular word is, the database has chosen a particular form for you. This may not be the only correct answer, but the database only has one correct answer. Moodle, I'll skip over here. Availability was one question. This is the web page for the tool. It includes a link to the user's guide. It has an extensive user's guide you can look at. The Hebrew version, you can get a scaled-down version that covers Genesis chapters 1 to 3 for free. If you want the entire Old Testament, it costs around 10 euros. The main reason for we're charging money for this is because the owners of the database want money for this. There's also a Greek New Testament version. You get the entire New Testament for also around 10 euros. You go to that website, you'll be guided through the purchasing process, and also, as I said, you'll find an extensive user's guide where you can read more about what I've talked about here. Just one final thing. How much time have I got?
2 minutes. 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute is enough. 1 minute is enough. Just bring up here the exercise. We have been working also with a transliterated version of the Hebrew Old Testament. This is not available publicly yet, but instead this is exactly the same quiz, exactly the same exercise as showed you at the outset, except that instead of using Hebrew characters, it uses an adapted Latin character set. Nikolai and I have heated discussions about this. Nikolai is very interested in trying to teach using transliterated text. I have never learned Hebrew. I have learned Russian, and one of the basic things you learn there is never, ever, ever transliterate. So we have a sort of a religious war going on about this, and I would actually be interested in hearing your opinion about that. But this was what I had to say. We have time for a few questions. We have a break now, and if any of you would like to try this hands-on, please see me in the break, and you can do it. Yes?
I have a question. I'd like to find out if, let's say, the student were to do a quiz, and does the system remember what the mistakes he has made, and that he can come back to the question, and that it remember the score of the quiz in such a way. I mean, so that actually it can be used as part of the credit for the class.
Yes, I will give you the standard computer engineer answer to this. This will be in the next version.
But we have a reason to, continue the plot.
It is, of course, a very interesting thing to know. I mean, your question is very relevant, and we're looking into doing that. We definitely want to keep track of these things. So yes, it's not there yet. It will be. Yes.
Question for this and for GlowMaker, can it be used with the Apple Mac computers?
No, I've tried porting this to the Mac, and it works fine. We agree. Mac has a problem with Hebrew fonts. You may have noticed that some, if you're looking even at web pages, getting the Masoretic marks correct on a Hebrew text is very, very difficult. I know Daniel has worked with it as well. And you have
well, half a year ago, Apple finally got a proper implementation of the OpenType font system, so it works now, I believe.
Okay.
So this works now on Macs?
I guess it will.
Well, we still, there is no Mac version available, but until recently it has been impossible for us to port it to Mac. Now, given the information that Daniel has here, it should be a fairly straightforward process for me to port this to the Mac. So, if I have the time, I'll get around to doing this very quickly.
That's critical.
I know it is. I know it is.
This is gonna make.
Yeah. You're American, right?
I know it's critical, and believe me, I have tried. The problem has been to have a proper implementation of the handling of Masoretic marks on Hebrew in Macs. It's been very difficult to get correct. So, yes?
And
Okay.
GlowMaker for Mac?
It works on Macs, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we have a break now.
Yes, if they're not, we can have a small question anymore, or if you wanted to, but anyway. So the break is about, you can of course go and grab some coffee, but we will also offer you a demonstration, or well, you can go simply do hands-on and try out the 3T here, the GlowMaker, right, Tom?
Fine, if people want to ask questions or...
Yeah, just have tried out, yeah. And Paradigm's Master Pro will also be available. And the SESB if you want to look at that as well. So please just come and see us and play in the break.
What time goes